Hi everyone. Today we'll be discussing this question from D-School 2007 entrance test, that is question 25. This is a microeconomics based question and we have to find basically the equilibrium in this, but there are a few things that we have to be careful about while attempting the question. So let's get started. You can pause the video here and take note of the question and its options and read the question first before I start to solve it. Now, two consumers are given and their demand curves are given. We also the market supply function is given here. So these are the individual demand curves and this is the market supply. We have to find the equilibrium quantity. So equilibrium quantity, for the equilibrium quantity we will need the condition of equilibrium, that is market demand equals market supply, which will give us the equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity. Now since there are two individuals given, the market demand will be the sum of these two individual demand curves. However, we have to keep a couple of things in mind while finding the market demand from the individual demands. So one thing to keep in mind is that there might be a kink in the demand curve, in the market demand curve. We can see here that the two demand curves are not the same, and there is therefore a possibility that when we add them up into the market demand curve, there could be a kink in the demand curve. So we'll have to be careful about that. The second thing that we have to be careful about is that we have to do a horizontal summation of the demand curves rather than a vertical summation. So horizontal summation means we have to add up the quantities and not the prices. So that's something that we have to be really careful about. So let's start with the question now. Note first that this first person A, his demand is such that he is not going to consume anything when the price is above 20. So when the price is above 20, we can rewrite the demand curve as, let's call it QA. This is 20 minus P. This is going to be non-negative only for P less than equal to 20. That means if P is greater than 20, then this person is not going to demand any apples. That is a commodity which is being sold and bought here. Similarly, for the other person B, if we rewrite, we get so if we rewrite this demand curve, just rearranging the equation, we get this demand curve and this is going to be non-negative when P is less than equal to 5, right? So the maximum willingness to pay for this person is 5 and the maximum willingness to pay for this person is 20. This feature of the individual demand curves also reflects in the market demand curve when we add or we construct the market demand curve. So for the market demand curve, what we want is, let's call it capital Q, we want QA plus QB. However, note that we can add the two demand curves only where both the demand curves exist. So the two demand curves exist only for P less than equal to 5. For P greater than equal to 5 and less than 20, only the first demand curve exists. So we have to be careful about that, and we can write the market demand curve as 30 minus 3P for P less than equal to 5 and 20 minus P for P between 5 and 20. right? We can also say that for any price above 20, there is not going to be any market demand, because neither Abhik nor Brinda will demand the apples at a price greater than 20. So now note, what I have done here is I have first converted the demand curves as a function of P. So I have written the quantities as a function of P, and only then I have proceeded to add the two quantities. We cannot add these equations as they are given to find the market demand curve, because then we wouldn't be summing up quantities, rather we would be summing up the prices. So once we have the market demand curve, then we have to equate it to the market supply to find the equilibrium quantity and price. So because there is a jump in the market demand, because these are two different equations, it means that there is a kink in the market demand curve, and we will have to check for a possible intersection in each of the components or each of the segments of this market demand curve. So we will first check for the first case. Our supply curve is 2 plus Q. So supply curve is given as 2 plus Q, but because my demand curve is in terms of P, I will rewrite this as P minus 2, and then check for an intersection in this component or this segment of the market demand curve. So that gives me 30 minus 3P is equal to P minus 2, which gives me 32 equals 4P, P equals 8. Now if we put this back into, let's say, the supply curve, we get 6. Although Q equal to 6 is an option given in the question, let me warn you that this is not the correct answer, because what we have got is a price of 8, but note that the segment of the demand curve that we have considered here is valid only for price less than equal to 5. So this answer that we have got, that intersection that we have got, P equal to 8, that is, we can say, outside the domain of this demand curve as we have defined. So therefore it is important whenever we get the answer to go back and check whether it actually lies in the domain that we are working with or not. So here in this case then we will need to check for the other segment as well, which will give us 20 minus P equals P minus 2, which is 22 equals 2P. So P equals 11. Putting this back into the supply curve gives us Q equals 9. So here we get the correct answer. Let me erase the incorrect one. The correct option here is now part B, that is 9 apples. This is the equilibrium quantity as we have obtained from this. So note actually that even in the market, for the market demand curve or for the market transaction, it's only happening for the first person. Only the first person will be consuming the commodity, because at a price of 8 the second person is actually demanding 0. So anything that is being sold to the first person only, given these demand and supply features. So I hope this video was useful to you. Stay tuned for more such videos discussing questions from past papers of MA entrance tests, and all the best.